will fire! What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Lie in the morning. Hooray, and up he rises, hooray, and up he rises, hooray, and up he rises early in the morning. Put him in the brig and dilly sober, put him in the brig and dilly sober, put him in the brig and dilly sober, early in the morning. Hooray!
Hello everyone, welcome to Drunken Sailor's Brew and Barbecue. Today we're going to be brewing up our annual 10-gallon batch of Drunken Sailor's Clipper Kölsch. Some we have left, last bit of what left from last year. Light, refreshing, spritzy summer beer. Easy to brew, very simple ingredients, and a good crowd pleaser. So we're waiting for everything to get to temperature, and as soon as it does, we'll be back and continue our brew day. See you soon. Okay, we're almost to our strike temperature, according to my trusty ProMash software, which is good stuff. Pretty accurate. And I'm going to be looking for a strike temp of about 163, 165 degrees. And we're almost there. So I'm going to go over the ingredients real quick. Like I said, they're simple. Here's our hops. We're going to go with, here's our Tettnanger, German, 4.5% alpha. We'll be using that to bitter. That'll be in the boil for the entire 60 minutes. It's a 60-minute boil. And there's our Czech Saaz, pellet, obviously, and 3.3 alpha. And we'll be putting that in for about 15 minutes, the last 15 minutes of the boil. And over here is our grain. If you're wondering why it's in a kitchen garbage bag, it's because I ordered 20 pounds and the company that I ordered the grain from sent me 20 1-pound bags of it, which was, I didn't think you guys wanted to see me open up 20 bags, so here we go. Okay, we're going to throw our grain into the mash tun. Over here. What I do like to do before I add the grain, though, check this out. I'll add this right to the water. Supercharge your mash. It's going to set the mash pH at exactly 5.2. I have no idea how it does it, but it does. A little bit of a sprinkle in there in the water prior to the grain, and you're good to go. So let's do that first. Just a couple tablespoons. A little bit of a stirring. Make sure it's good and diluted. Yep, perfect temperature. I'm looking for a mash temp of about 148 degrees. Get some good, there we go, garbage bag. Yeah. Nice. Okay, with our mash, we're going to be looking for about a good oatmeal consistency. Get a good stirring. There we go. Why don't you get a look at this in just a minute. There we go. As you can see, there we go. It's like oatmeal. Grain to water ratio, it's about 1.1 quarts per pound of grain. So with 20 pounds of grain, you do the math. So we're sitting at, right now, check the temperature. That's about 150. It's a little higher than I wanted. That'll still work. Let's stir a little bit, might drop it another degree or two. We're going to let this sit for an hour. Let all those starches convert to sugars. Make some great beer with. There we go. Perfect. Okay, that's going to be about 1 hour mash. So as it sits, we'll wait and drink some beer. Okay, it's been about an hour, actually closer to 70 minutes. Mash is done. It's held its temperature quite nicely at 150, 151. This cooler works really well as a mash tun. Hardly any temperature decrease at all. I'm going to batch sparge this as opposed to fly sparging. It makes for an easier brew day. It's not as time consuming, and yeah, filming and such, it just makes more sense. So here we go. Let's take a quick look at it. There we go. I'll give it a little bit of a stirring. Great consistency. Okay, now what I'm going to do, actually leave that in there. I'm going to come over here. This water is near boiling temperature. I'm going to batch sparge it. I'm going to scoop some out, put it in the mash tun. I'm going to raise that mash temperature to about 170, 180 degrees. And I'm going to let it sit for about another 20 minutes. What that's going to do is it's going to rinse the sugars off of the grain and stop the conversion process. So let's get going. Be very careful, it is hot. Throw a couple. Yeah, let's go for 3. Okay, temperature is rising. I'm going to put 2 more in. And 2. Okay, now let's give this another. We'll close that up. Okay, let that temperature come up. Okay, here we are during the sparge now. I don't know how many of you picked up on that in the last clip, but when you're topping off the mash, make sure you pull your spoon out first, otherwise it'll get buried in the mash, and then you'll have to go fishing for it when it's very hot. It's not a pleasant experience. So in any case, what I'm doing here is collecting some of the first runnings. I want to bring those up to 180, 190 degrees, almost boiling. The burner's going pretty good right now. I'm going to put those back on top of the mash. That's going to help raise the temperature, stop the conversions, and help settle that mash bed for a better sparge. It'll make for a cleaner beer at the end as well. In the bottom kettle there, my small kettle, I keep some real hot water. We'll be kind of doing a little circulation process as I move here, and we're getting ready for the boil. So be a 60-minute boil. We're moving along. Be right back. All right, we're done sparging, and we've got that kettle up to a good rolling boil. It's now time to start the clock on our 65 minute boil and add our first batch of hops. These are for bittering. They are Tettnanger from Germany. 2 ounces of pellets, 4.5% alpha acids. Add those right in there. They do smell good. Give it a little bit of a stir. Good vigorous rolling boil. You can see the hot break. There we go. Alright, we're going to let that go for 60 minutes, which means in about 45 we'll be adding our second dose of hops. Alright, we've approached about 15 minutes or so left in the boil. So we're ready to add our last dose of hops, our Saaz. 2 ounces at 3.3 alpha. Goes in there. Very nice. Also, what I like to do is add some yeast nutrient. It's like the last that I have of that. And a little bit of Irish moss. This will help coagulate the proteins. A couple tablespoons there. It's like seaweed. And although I don't know if you could tell in the video, but I got killer hot break going on, big chunks of protein and stuff in there. That's going to help make for a very clear beer, hopefully. But almost done. Okay, here we are. The boil is done. We're ready to transfer to the fermenter. Right there, via the copper counterflow chiller. Got the water turned on. That's nice and cold. A worthwhile investment for any home brewer. Probably the best investment I've made in my brewery so far. So let's go. Let's see what happens. Through. There we go. There we go. Now what I did add was this little contraption. That goes to just a standard aquarium pump. This is going to aerate the wort via a 2 micron steel stone there. That's going to get oxygen back into the wort for the yeast to chow on. Make their cell walls nice and strong. So there you have it. Final gravity about 12.7-ish Plato. That comes out to about 1051, which is right where I wanted it, actually. Surprising. So all we're going to do now is pop the airlock on top of that carboy. Let it add some yeast. I just a standard Kölsch yeast. Let it ferment for about a week, 10 days. Then we'll throw it in the bottle. The idea is to have this ready for Memorial Day, the big bash. So that should about do it for Drunken Sailor's Clipper Kölsch. Hope you enjoyed it. Any questions or comments, leave them below, and have a nice day.